Hey folks, welcome back. It's Lucid. I'm here with Sakane.
Hello, everybody.
And we did a three for last time, three episodes in one, or no, three turns in one episode. And
Yeah, but we were lucky because one of those turns was a really short one. And just looking at the messages on this one,
yeah,
we
won't
may
be
be
so
here for a
quick.
while.
So the big news last time is the war between Utgard and Marignon started. Uh, Abyssia was knocked out, basically. Satis almost knocked out, but not yet. Um,
Atlantis started to fight Jomon, and we think that Atlantis and Raga have pieced out.
right.
Gath, it
And,
turns out, unbeknownst to us, has been starving for the last 20 turns.
right. Got
And
wrecked on
so
top of
his,
Lemuria.
yeah, got wrecked by Lemuria.
And
Uh, and
uh, big
that's,
Agartha battle. And if y'all didn't see the end of last episode, it was kind of a long one, but go back and check out the Agartha battle because that was kind of good. But anyway, that spelled the end of Agartha.
yeah, at the hands of Bogarus. So where shall we start?
Well, we just said Bogarus. Let's start over there.
Sure. Well, I guess he's still trying to siege down Agartha, so there must be some stuff left inside.
Right,
Because that's a pretty big army from Bogarus.
but none of this is high strength, right? So it's only
Fair
200
enough.
something siege strength. Even though it's expensive, like Heavy Cav is one of those units. It's really expensive, but it sucks at sieging.
Yeah. So maybe a couple turns left of
Right.
sieging this down. Now, actually, one of the things he probably should be doing, Bogarus, is going uh, to lock down that fort to the east.
I think
And
he's going to. These
he's going
guys.
to, but he could have done this right now. Like, just he
Oh
might
yeah.
not know about the diplomacy between Ulm and Utgard, but I'd be worried that somebody's going to come
Right.
vulture that. So just to
Okay.
dispatch a few heavy calf, and it looks like he beat the horror
Oh, let's watch this though. Just
just with heavy
a
calf.
few brave men.
Oh, and air elementals.
There we
Yeah, I
go.
think the air elementals are doing are going to do most of the work here.
Yeah, air elementals do pretty good against Taurus. But I think these. Does this have true ethereal? I guess he's just really high defense, so he's dodging all the hits. Because these guys only have 15 attack and he's got 23 defense still.
And he's size 6.
Oh my god. Okay, that might be a little overkill. Air elementals. Maybe not. Let's see.
Yeah, we say that, but
Ah! One thing at Haru is
he's
they,
got
they
blink.
like attacking things with mines.
Yeah.
So if you surround them with air elementals, they're probably going to jump somewhere else. Actually, that's really interesting. It only really took one hit to get him stunned, and then the defense no longer procced.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's unsurroundable 5, too. I didn't realize that, so
Yeah, so he doesn't really get harassed much.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Um,
interesting.
not much else really for Bogarus.
For
Uh,
Ulm has finally militarized his border, and oh boy, has he done it.
yeah, a lot of wolves, but also a lot of heavy infantry.
Yeah. But I think, wolves are a little annoying if you're using a bunch of crossbows, right? Because they're going to waste your first few volleys pretty much no matter what you do.
Yeah, and you don't want to. Yeah, because what are you going to tell your guys to target? Right, you're not going to
Yeah.
fire archers. So
And you need to kill them. You don't want them closing in with your archers and stuff. But
yeah.
so this
Now,
is scary. I'm feel I'm on Team Marignon thinking he's going to pull it out. He's in a pretty strong position, but this is looking
yeah.
dicey.
Now, Marignon, what I'm really curious to see is what magic he's been researching because, like a bunch of
Right.
fire elementals would do very well against wolves.
Right.
So we'll have to see what he can bring to bear.
I mean, the other thing
Um,
Marignon has is he's going to be on the defensive. He has only got 6 PD here, but this really is the kind of place, especially with a bunch of crossbows, where a PD dump is pretty good.
oh yeah, patrol this
Yeah.
for sure.
So we'll see if he does it. But
So speaking of which, we thought that maybe he would threaten this throne.
oh, and he
Uh,
did.
Well, actually, I was thinking I was going to go
Oh, for
south. I was
this one.
thinking, yeah, but because he had a big army there,
Right.
but instead he's moved northeast and has just taken all of Utgard's possessions along the coast there from
Right.
Lemuria.
And he can now
But
storm
that,
this. He one turn popped it, and Utgard has nothing.
yeah, because it was just a palisades.
So,
And that was the Cap army.
right.
Or no, actually, no, I say that, but actually, a lot of like there's something moving north from the Cap, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think this was the Cap army. I'm not sure where these guys were from. One of them
Yeah,
was from this fort, and one was from this one. I'm not sure which one was from which. I think
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the
You're right.
Cap, but who knows?
Now, he might have to move south. He might have to protect from that Ulm army in his, uh, you know, protecting that throne. But
Oh wait,
he's made some
this
definitive
one, yeah,
moves. Yeah, that might come up the
yeah.
threat
But I
there.
mean, these guys can once they're done here, they can also sail back in.
Exactly. So I'm liking these initial moves here by Marignan.
Yeah, definitely
Now
showing some competence.
I'm seeing some crossed swords up here.
So let's watch this fort battle. Apparently, Utgard's going to take it. I don't know if Marignan has anything inside. Oh, he does have some guys.
Seeing a little communing with a few air elementals.
Nothing. They're not going to get any kills. Air elementals versus magic weapons, game hurtings.
And also, unfortunately, these are little air elementals, which tells us he does not have construction.
Better not to waste the gems.
Yep.
Also, better to attack out and retreat. Oh. But hello.
Oh, he does have conjuration. All right. Never mind then. All right, I'm suddenly much more. I mean, not for this battle. Obviously, he's going to lose this battle, but big fire elementals are going to do very well. Less so against Gamherdings, who have magic weapons.
But against Ulm.
Against Ulm, they're going to do quite well. And honestly, Gamherdings with magic weapons, sure, but it's only one attack per square. And
yeah, but it's a high damage attack. I mean, they're going to get... The fire elementals are going to get worked by it.
Well, certainly by this number. But they're...
But some losses. That was a lot of fire elementals, though.
Yeah, and it still takes like 6 rounds of combat to completely kill the fire elemental, or 5 or whatever it is. And that's just like you see right now there aren't 200 crossbows killing the Gamherdings, but you could totally imagine if there were 200 crossbows behind this.
Yeah, that would do it.
Those fire elementals delayed them for long enough.
Lost 7. I think it would have been still better to retreat, but he got the Seth Conan, which was nice. I think this was actually the air elemental, so kind of paid off a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're not very expensive. They're not that much more expensive than a game hurting. Huskarls, they died. I mean, I guess it was kind of, it could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. I guess it was a shame losing the mages.
Right.
Attacking out. Yeah, I don't know how. Anyways, we'll see what.
And this is odd. Apparently, Utgard decides he's going to raid. I guess he didn't know that Marignan was busy killing Odysseus. You would think that would, come up in the game chat.
Yeah.
Hey, Odysseus just lost his cap to Marignan.
Because we both said that this was a very predictable move.
Right.
So, if Utgard did not know, he is now very upset.
Right.
Because he probably was not. If he didn't know, then he's like, what the hell? Why is there a 400-person army?
Right.
On this side.
Now, Utgard could PD down because he's got a pretty predictable move here. But Utgard PD dumps aren't that great.
Yeah, because he
wants his Gamherdings in front.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless the PD has crossbows, or actually archers,
but it's a castle, so it's going to be Utgard PD, which not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is a bad situation for Utgard.
Yeah, and these guys can go jump right over here and then jump on top of this, his cap. I think it's about to be downhill for Utgard, but
Ulm might come to the rescue here.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like it. I like that he's striking out, not being
I like
defensive.
So I like the moves by Marignan in this war, but also his whole play up to this point has set him up to do this, right?
Yeah.
because early on he's been pushing out against Abyssia, so he's been active, and because he's gained that territory, you know, when Utgard decided to attack Marignan, he's not attacking right towards Marignan's capital. He's taking some outlying
Right.
fort, which is valuable, but it means Marignan has the room to maneuver and to make all these moves across, sailing across and things like
Well, yeah.
that.
I mean, he's doom stacked, right? He's a single huge doom stack. I mean, that's
Right, but the Doomstack isn't threatening Marignan's cap. Like, it's not an existential threat to Marignan.
right.
Right? He can afford to go do all these other moves. He doesn't have to be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and make his own Doomstack to go against it.
I think
Anyways, I'm
it's one
liking
thing
the
to think
moves.
about when you're playing a nation. You need to have a way. Like, you can't only doom stack. So anyway, when you're thinking about it, you need to think like, okay, what am I gonna? And now they have Scotty, so they actually should be pretty handily winning a lot of the rating wars. But
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not sure if we'll see any Scrutty. That would be the time.
now would be the time. And speaking of thugging, another variable which we will see is if Ulm has vampires online. So that'll be a very interesting
Yeah.
component to mix in here with the Southern War.
So nothing from Ulm. Yeah, we take a look at Lemuria here.
Okay, using these gibbers to great effect. Excellent.
Now he didn't storm this wasteland. We thought it was.
Oh yeah, I wonder why not.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
he didn't have a commander. Storming that would have been pretty good. Get that death gem. And then this has been
Not
pinned down.
clear.
I think Lemuria might be. It's kind of the problem when you defend yourself a little too well. Once you've basically been knocked out, you're like, well, shit.
Like,
now
now
what do I
what?
do?
Yeah.
Like they were gonna give me the quick option, put me out of my misery, and now all of a sudden,
Now I have to try hard to do something.
right?
I think you go after Gath and
Yeah.
try to get those starving giants before they escape.
I think if I teleport into this game right now, if I was in a 1v1 versus Gath, I think I might be able to win. I mean, versus this Gath player, with what we've seen so. I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, first of all, you get these back almost for free.
How you see even there, because even look, supplies, 10 supplies. Like, so Gath's army is starving, but it can't unstarve basically until it gets back to its own capital.
Right.
Because the giants eat a lot.
Yeah.
A big army like that is going to take like several hundred supplies. Now he can alleviate Gath. There are many ways to deal with it as Gath, but this Gath is not employing any of those ways.
Right.
So I think you just like forget the forts, just go kill that army.
This one?
No, the giants.
Oh, these guys.
Like just try to go kill them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I mean, I think you want the forts too, but
yeah, and this Lemuria certainly.
But what Lemuria can do is just swing around in these doom stacks and then pop forts and storm them and swing around,
Yeah, and it's not like Atlantis is showing any interest in fighting back at the moment. Although that's partly because Lemuria is like, Atlantis might be fine with Lemuria taking back this, population zero fort. But if Lemuria tries to go take that underwater throne back or something.
But we also see up here, and this is what I think would be big trouble for Lemuria, is we see Raga with a fair amount of troops on this border, and if they're not going to attack Atlantis, I've got a pretty good idea where they're going.
Yeah, because it looks like Raga is going to let Jomon expend himself on Satis.
Right.
And so he's not too eager to go in on that.
Though there's a fair amount of troops still over here, so we'll see. I don't see a fort going up here or here.
It looks like something happened on Satis.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. Uh-oh. This was not the whole Jomon army, I don't think.
I suspect assassinations might have.
Oh. Could have been.
Had a role to played a role here.
All the shadow blasts. Not very accurate shadow blast, but oh man.
Yeah, doesn't need to be super accurate when you've got undead chaff in front.
God, this is like the wet dream of shadow blast casters.
This is like a perfect fort defense.
Every time I use shadow blast, it never works. I never get these kind of shadow blasts. There's a nice, beautiful ball of people. Part of it is it's kind of easy to bait shadow blasts, like to target the wrong spot if you're. Oh man. Now a few troops up here at the front. Oh, those guys are holding the line pretty well. Oh no, and they just try to run. It's a massacre. So you think this was assassinations?
Well, I mean, he's been trying to siege down this fort for like 8 turns or something. I can't imagine the number of commanders he's lost. So it's entirely possible there's like a whole squad or two of Jomon troops. Yeah, look, that army consists mainly of crossbowmen.
Yeah, those would have been pretty useful.
I think all those. Yeah, were there any crossbows in that fight? I didn't see any. I
don't think so.
I think like those 100 crossbowmen were on one general who got assassinated this turn, and so he didn't storm the castle.
That could be it. Let's take a look real quick at these Ryujin. Okay, they don't have leadership. I was thinking these would be a really good commander to lead them in because you don't have to worry about them getting assassinated, but no leadership. So yeah, I guess that's a...
That looks to me like that's what happened.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And crossbows would have made a big difference because if you put them far enough in front, they could actually kill those shadow blasting mages.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Jomon going back on the offensive here against Atlantis.
Yeah, retaking his cap circle. Now Atlantis raids here with 3 cap mages.
And raids here. Is he doing elemental spam, or what are these mages
doing? Well, there's some ice guards there, so I think this was just a...
Oh, just cold blast, just artillery.
Looks like Jomon went underwater, too.
Oh yeah, Jomon's got Ryujin, so he's making an offensive of his own. He's got some Kappas. Reasonably effective. That was only like 10 PD, so I don't know. Actually, not super effective. You look at these Kappas are expensive. Oh, these are the summoned ones. Normally they're like 20 gold. I forget how many water gems there are per, but losing all those Kappas and having to spend a fair amount of water gems, yeah, for 10 PD. But, you know, he's got this province now. He raids here. Well, if I can click on it.
Oh, with another rage and...
What I have found is this is not a very... From my Atlantis game, this does not really look very well. Just the idea of having like a single water elemental raider. You need either living water to get multiple out at the same time. And ideally you have like living water with 2 casters and maybe one of them's doing the big water elementals and the other one's doing living water.
Yeah, because one water elemental streaming in at a time with into a bunch of chaffy PD will still get killed.
Yeah.
Also, do you feel it? I feel like having Ryujin purely as just water elemental casters, I don't know, it feels a little odd. But I haven't played them, so I don't know how feasible it is to thug them out for underwater raiding.
I mean, I think if you're in an underwater war against Atlantis, it's definitely viable. And the thing you have to consider is there's a very high bar for underwater thugs. And that high bar is, can you survive
being surrounded by water elementals?
And if you can't, then you're better off doing water elemental casting. So I don't know. I think Ryujin probably actually are one of the chassis that might be able to survive being surrounded by water elementals, but you need very specific scripts to handle it. And I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, if this is a new player
Yeah.
game, in a new player game, my simple advice would be do not thug against underwater against water elementals. But
Okay, so Drummond is now in a bad spot. We'll see if there are any big major land battles, but
yeah,
he was hoping to wrap things up with Satis, and that has
and
not happened.
and losing like a Ryujin like this for Jomon is not really a big deal, except he's only got one underwater fort. So
Right.
these start becoming pretty damn expensive.
Now, I could totally see him going for Atlantis' fort there next turn. He seems to have accumulated a little army
Right here?
underwater. No, I mean,
Oh,
Jomon might
oh
try
yeah,
to
right here.
move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you could probably swing that. Are there any Ryujin here? I don't see any. He's just got this one. But yeah, he probably could take this.
But he has to maintain his.
It makes you think why didn't this guy even has 10 leadership? He could have brought in 10 Shark Warriors and I think he would have won.
Yeah, just on guard commander.
Or just hold an attack. Let the water elementals kind of go out there in front.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but at the same time, he's no longer has two of his cap circle provinces, so
right.
he's under a lot of pressure.
Okay, so a wall closing in a little bit around Jomon. What do you do if you're Jomon with this situation with Satis? Do you back out and give this to Raga, or do you try to finish it?
I don't. So the question is, do you need those troops? If you brought all those troops back north to fight against Atlantis, would that make a difference? Right, that's the question you have to ask yourself. And because there's some geography issues here, I don't know if those troops can move back north.
It would take like 6 turns to get up to where they could do stuff.
But on the flip side, if he's been fighting Satis and it's been like assassination after assassination, you can only fight against that if you have like a critical number or like 1 million scouts or something like that. Right now, what we're seeing is that he's already been so depleted that like going back on top of that cap and getting assassinated even more, like, he kind of lost. He's like below, I think, a certain critical threshold.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to have more success now against Satis compared to before. So he kind of doesn't have a choice. I think he does have to back off.
Yeah, that spells bad news though for. I mean, I guess it's kind of awkward territory, and maybe that's actually for the best for him. If Raga takes this one thing, and then he can just forget about Satis.
I mean, it's an opportunity also to make peace. Like in other words, he might not see. If I'm Raga, I would sense the weakness here, but potentially Jomon might have been afraid that Raga was just going to take all of Satis and Satis's lands from me. So here I would negotiate with Raga. I'd say, hey, I'll just give you Satis, but let me keep all the rest of these Satis lands. Now, Raga might not feel like he needs to take that deal. He could just take it by force if he wants to.
I mean, or he might take the deal and then just end whatever nap he has and eat him.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
People tend to not do that as much as maybe they should. I mean, I don't really do it. I think everybody tries to like...
I feel like that's
people don't like flip-flopping as much.
Yeah, that's just like using diplomacy on purpose to like mislead somebody. Yeah. Right, because you're agreeing to the deal, so the person thinks you're going to be peaceful, and then you attack them right away. Anyways, but that could be the move for Jomon, is just cede that to Raga. And because honestly, yes, losing Satis, I mean, he never had it, but losing Satis for Jomon is a big deal, but it would be far outweighed by him being able to reclaim this lake from Atlantis.
Yeah.
Like if he could fight Atlantis to a draw but at the end of that war have reclaimed his lake,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a victory for Jomon.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Okay, so moving on. Not much in the Bogarusian part of the world.
How's Agartha doing? The walls
Um, Still holding up.
still holding up.
And
I think
I think that's
that's
it.
it.
Let's go ahead and do turn 38. I don't know if it's going to be as action-packed as turn... Oh, whoops. That was a different turn 38. A message has arrived from Satis. During a wonderful feast, or wondrous feast in your capital, hosted to celebrate the glory of your most holy pretender, an unusual event occurred. The bones of a clean-picked chicken resting peacefully on a plate next to a few spare potatoes suddenly rose up, leapt to the center of the head of the table, to the center of the head table, and started to squawk at your guests of honor. There was once a Satis playing bear who would not give way to despair. He may not have thrones, but he can still shake his bones if you stick out your snout in his lair. With that proclamation, the chicken caught fire, burning itself into a pile of ash and leaving your guests rather confused. Thanks to Atlantis for the poem. Funny.
Very nice.
Yeah, you gotta make little games for yourself when you're losing. Make it something
When you're
to
down
keep you
to
in there.
one capital.
Yeah. If people trying to cap you and you're down to your capital and you kill their army, I think you were totally entitled to do a bit of mocking.
Yeah, to write poems.
Yeah. So let's start with Gath and Lemuria. So he finally takes his fort. There's nothing in there. He could have taken it the fort before, or the turn before.
Yeah. And just some PD there.
Right. So Gath has moved out, because wasn't the army here before? I guess he's taken them back to richer lands.
Maybe I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where he was. There's some food in this province, so they'll stop starving at least.
Yeah. But this is obviously very ominous. I don't know. I think is Lemuria, I move here to try to take this, but then I'm expecting this army's going to come and stomp me somewhere from Raga.
Yeah, it sucks because Lemuria just has to. It's like a series of at-bats, right? First it was Lemuria. First it was Atlantis on his cap.
Mm-hmm.
Fought him back. Then it was Gath on his cap. He fought him back. And now it looks like it's about to be Raga on his cap.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we'll have to. I don't know. Maybe we'll see if Raga isn't starving also, because that's a big army.
Yeah. I think this. Yeah, this is not Lemuria Dominion so far. There's still 4K population, but as he moves forward, it's probably going to starve if he doesn't bring special supplies. Okay, coming over here, let's do the big Marinese debacle. Okay, so let's do this throne first. Attacking Utgard. Okay, this swamp spam. That's going to be a wipe.
All right, down south. Yeah, there wasn't anything here for Marignan.
Okay.
I was just PD.
And was there a battle here?
Just PD.
Nope. That is a big fat command. He's got a bunch of these fortune tellers, which... Oh, they're all they're all death randoms.
So he wants to do Skella spam on top, maybe?
Yeah.
All right.
That is a lot of dudes. And meanwhile, this Doomstack has moved over here. I don't know if he can defend this.
Well,
Like
I
nothing's
think
in
fire
position.
elementals would do fantastically against that army.
Oh, that's true.
So he's got one good tool up his
Yeah,
sleeve.
fire
Now,
elemental's in a gateway, like in the if he can fill
yeah, and
up
a
the
choke
entrance.
point. Yeah. Um, Now that is, I think that's a vampire. Uh, if you go north a bit,
Oh, let's see who we've got. Oh, a few vampires. Implementer axe. Nice. This guy with the frost brand. Also with the frost brand. Okay, and this guy was jumping to the back with super high protection. Just PD, but okay.
yeah. So the presence of vampires. Now the thing is, Marignan has pretty good ways to deal with vampires. They tend to not be good at fire.
Right.
And Marignan is like astral fire. So whether he went for Conjuration 5, which he did, but he might also be close to
Well,
Soul
this
Slate.
Marignon isn't really. I mean, they have astral and they have fire, but they don't have astral fire mages really anymore.
No, I didn't mean the both, but I mean that they have both paths because it's either for
Yeah.
fire elementals or for Soul Slate.
Right.
And they can do both of those things. But I don't know if he has the tech for both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm thinking there's a big battle on top of this fort next turn with this army. But I don't think he can fight this. I think there's just no contest unless he's got good mages inside to do fire elemental spam in the gates.
So there was a big army there last turn from Marignan.
There was okay. Maybe
and I think he's just waiting inside the. Is that because it's not popped?
I don't
right?
know, but there's a lot of guys here.
Yeah, but that's a.
Yeah, but it's only 640. They're not going to pop it. It's 750 wall defense.
Yeah, but Marignan had a big army near his cap. He's consolidated stuff in his cap. I think there's a big army under that Olmish army,
right.
And there's a big army in his cap. I think Marignan just has a lot of dudes.
Okay, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
And Utgard has evacuated. He said, "Oh, we don't want to fight that big scary army."
But he didn't leave one PD, so
we don't get to see.
Shame on you.
Yeah, come on, guys, one PD.
I think this was just like an indie event or something.
I think it's a scout, yeah. Okay, so is that did we cover everything from the Marignan conflict?
Yeah, we're not 100% sure, but I suspect that Marignan has two large armies there, like one in his cap and one under Ulm, and that's all we know. And I think
Garth is still not popped.
Yeah, those heavy cav.
This is this one province. This one province. It's like 60 PD. It's killed so much stuff. Oh, I guess, okay, these are scouts, but anyway. People are just ignoring it now. It's funny.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember this province now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it.
Did we cover all of the Atlantis stuff? I think we did, yeah. All right, I guess we've got time. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Probably be it for the night of recording for us, too. 39. Ooh, let's look at score graphs, too, after the end of this. Remind me if I forget.
Yeah.
Okay. So where should we start?
I guess, well, let's head right back to Ulm and Marignan, because that's action-packed.
Okay, this is popped. The big army moved. Oh, they didn't pop it. So the big army moved here. Okay, there was a vampire here with a golden hoplon and a star of heroes, which is an odd kit because this is normally like an anti-thug kit or an anti-SC kit. Very odd. I'm guessing you got these from events. I mean, the Golden Hoplon makes sense because they have fire weakness.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good shield. It's going to do a lot to prevent archers from damaging her. But no soul vortex or anything. Don't think it's going to go well when she gets in melee.
These are the Alm vampires, so they
Yeah.
don't have a lot of death.
Okay. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see
now,
there.
You want to
but,
ping if you're Marignon too, so...
Yeah, and honestly, gem bait.
Yeah.
But something happened.
Oh. So Marignon rolls in, but it's a lot of gelatinous cubes.
So we've seen this army from Ulm, but he hadn't really fought anything with it. Now he finally fights a real army.
See, I'm kind of surprised. I think from looking at the outside, it looks like Ulm won, but I'm kind of on Marignon's side right now.
What do you mean?
I just think having these water elementals, and then these guys are all, these are sacreds. This is a shit ton of sacreds, and I guess they're not very well buffed up. Some of them have luck. We'll see.
Well, one of the issues here is that all these wolves have basically only served to trigger blood surge on all of Marignon's sacreds.
Right.
Kind of for free. And now it's just going to be sacred two-hand wielders versus non-sacred two-hand wielders.
Well, now these Ghoul Guardians, they get a bonus for sacreds, so that could be a thing. Oh, what was that? Oh, something just murdered those Ghoul Guardians. I guess.
Is this Ghoul Guardians?
Yeah.
It's Falling Frost. He's got some water mages.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so Stellar Cascade's coming from Ulm. Which is actually, like, there's a serious fatigue play going on here, because Stellar Cascades plus the Ghoul Guardians Halt Heretic.
Dude, these guys are fatigued out.
Is totally
a lot of them are.
These guys out. But let's click on the Ghoul Guardians. How are they doing? They don't care. I mean, a lot of them are dead.
Marignon might just need a bit more mage support here.
Well, he does have overwhelming numbers. Like, the actual number of infantry here from Ulm was much lower than the infantry from Marignon.
Yeah.
And so, even though a lot of them were fatigued, he still had a nice concave going against the Ghoul Guardians. And, you know, if it comes to just fighting Skella spam, then these Marignon Sacreds are more than up to the task.
Okay, plus, so that's what I thought would happen. I thought Marignon would win. Okay, they did win. For some reason, I thought, when I clicked on it, I thought Ulm still had an army on top of this.
Oh, okay. Plus, and remember, the Blood Surge gives some reinvig.
Yeah.
Which helped them wake up from all that fatigue.
But this was a very clean win. I mean, hardly lost anything.
And he kills a decent amount of troops and 7 illuminated ones.
Right. And these Ghoul Guardians are cap only. They're not sacred, but they're cap only.
Yeah. And more importantly, strategically. So, by the way, that army is the army that had, I believe... Oh, no, I was going to say
from this... Oh, no.
Nope, because he moved north there.
And maybe he split his cap army.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I think impresses me about Marignon's play is he's managed his economy very well, and he's been recruiting a lot of troops, and he has, like, many effective armies at his disposal.
Yeah.
And now...
I think that's actually one of the things, too. Like, especially on the Discord forums and stuff, you see people talking about tactics and thugging and how to do this and how to do that. But one of the most important things of playing the game well is maneuvering on the strategic map. And I know that's one of the things you do pretty damn well, Sakane. Um,
I do admit I pride myself
yeah,
on that, because that is where, like, that's you make a great point, which is people will talk about, like, oh, in theory, does this beat that? Yes,
right.
but you can make up for a lot of weaknesses by making clever moves on the strategic map.
Yeah,
And sometimes your nation can help you with that, right? So Marignan with sailing
right.
is like a great example here, where he's using a strength of his nation, but in order to use that, he had to have made all of these armies
Right.
and constituted them. Like, you have to have a working cohesive unit that kind of functions together for the task that it has to accomplish, right?
Right.
So that fight there, that army was like the perfect amount of stuff needed to
Yeah, to
kill that
efficiently kill
Ulm.
this.
And and he had that available, and he was able to dispatch that while not sacrificing any of his other goals. Like, if you look up north, he's still continuing to eat into Ulm's Utgard's territory from the throne.
Right.
Right, he didn't have to give up pushing into Utgard, and he appears to be quite confident on the other front with Ulm, ready to push him back down there. So well played.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see how this pans out. It's going to be a little awkward because this Utgard army can check this palisade, but
But I think Utgard's army
yeah,
is,
I think he's getting outmaneuvered.
well. So Utgard feels like I can tell that his mentality is that he has to stick together in one Doomstack,
Right.
and perhaps to fight the big army to the west, that might be true. But he doesn't need that Doomstack to go, for example, reclaim his throne.
Well, okay, here's the thing is I mean there's we're not going to get into all the different tactics Utgard can use because Utgard's a pretty versatile nation that can do a lot of things. But in concept, if you doomstack, you cannot run from a fight. So the fact that he ran from this fight while doomstacking, you never want to lose a fight. But if you run from a fight while you're in a single doomstack, you might as well just give up.
That's an excellent point. It's like the point of Doomstacking is like, okay, here's my army, bring it.
Right.
Right. So if you're making a Doomstack and then running away, then you're kind of conceding that.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it to
Yeah,
play for time or this, that, or the other,
sure.
but yeah. I mean, not this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so more good plays from Marignan. I actually don't remember who the Marignan player is. I'll have to check after this, but they're definitely doing really well. Let's check out the Jomon situation.
Yeah.
So Jomon got a spicy battle here. So he's got, I think these are Master Shugenjas.
For
Got some
buffing,
nature
I
ones,
assume.
earth ones, nature ones. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Turn 38 or whatever. Wooden warriors on everybody. Legions of Steel, Strength of Giants on everybody. And then go.
Makes sense. And we can see already Summon Earth Power, Wooden Warriors.
Right. Atlantis' side, a bit of an odd formation.
Also, it is Heat 3
Right.
in Jomon's Dominion here.
Did he get... Okay, yeah. Wait, is this Strength of Giants or Legions of Steel? Oh, I think it's Legions of Steel, because look at that. Oh, no, he's got Strength
Or
of
it's
Giants.
both.
Yeah.
Those are some pretty high quality troops. They would do well against Cold 3 Ice Guards, but right now it's Heat 3 Ice Guards, so they're going to do
Yeah, let's just compare stats real quick.
fantastic.
Get this guy hits for 26, 16 attack, and 20 protection.
Like 26 slashing is enough to hurt Cold Scale Ice Guard.
Yeah. And then these guys, 12 protection, hits for 24, 13 attack. So lower attack. And these guys have 9 defense, and these guys probably have higher. Yeah, 11 defense.
Yeah.
And I don't even think those are the super buffed up guys. Some of these guys had 25, right? If they got hit by both. Yeah, if they got wooden warriors, they're 25. So these
Yeah, so
guys are going to only be taking chip damage.
and they're basically one-shotting the ice guards because it's slashing damage,
Oh,
and
and
they
then
have no
Earthmeld coming
protection.
out. This is played, by the way, with improved AI casting mod on. So
Aha!
you can see they love that Earthmeld. Just
Good
pat
for them.
myself on the back for that one. The invisible hand. So there we go. Look at that. That was clean. Pretty big
Yeah,
PD dump.
killed. Yeah, and
Yeah.
killed a lot of ice guards. So economically, this is what Jomon has to do. Unfortunately,
And this is
Atlantis
pretty
is
low
like,
tech. Like, Jomon should have way more tech than this. So I think this, like, Y scale Jomon is actually kind of viable. Like, you need some research, but you don't need much.
yeah, you just need the basics to buff your troops, and you have great mages to buff your troops. So,
Okay, another fight. So this is Atlantis raiding on top of a fort.
with
Uh-oh.
what is this, Wailing Winds?
Something like that. What? But
Lamash does. No, the other guy down there is doing Lamash does, and then this guy's doing.
they cast Mist, right?
All right, so this might also have been kind of a gem bait. He might have pinged this before.
Lamashta's... Okay, no.
All right,
I'm thinking
I think,
Wind of Death.
yeah, or something like that. Yeah, Wind of Death. There it is.
Wait, has he already gotten one off?
I just saw. Well, I saw Wind of Death appear in the log up there.
Oh, there it goes. I don't think that's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. He's probably got a fair amount of them. Jomon has Astral 2s. I mean, you probably don't expect it, but okay, maybe worth it. But he lost 20 gems worth of gear. And then this guy wasn't twice born or anything.
Yeah, and he killed like gold.
Yeah.
Like 35 dudes. He got one mage.
Yeah, and if Jomon did anti-magic, it wouldn't have been worth it. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, he also gem baited too, so there's some gem exchange on the other side too.
I think maybe Atlantis comes out slightly ahead here.
Yeah.
But not to a huge extent.
Yeah, it was like a very smart play, but it didn't really pan out.
So on the strategic map here on the northern front, I guess I expect some kind of consolidation here because obviously Atlantis wants to push in, but Jomon's Dominion is Heat 3, so it's the middle of summer.
I think if you're Atlantis, I think so this is what I would do. He's going to think I'm going to come on top of this fort, right? So then I actually come here, and then he's like, fuck, this army's got between me and my capital, right? And so then he moves here. So you're automatically getting rid of any PD dump. Well, I guess he could PD dump here. But anyway, he's going to have to go on top of his capital. I think you just actually come underwater and take this from him.
Yeah, I think Atlantis goes underwater because, so as Jomon, actually, what I would do is I would consolidate, like where you just said Atlantis should move. I think that's the obvious. I think as Jomon, you go to that 176.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
you think this is an obvious move from him? Well,
it's not obvious. It's the only thing you have to defend. You have a fort there. So you don't have to have your army patrol there. You can let him move on top of your fort. And if he does that, you just go and push him off it next turn.
Interesting.
Right? So that's where you move your army.
But
let the fort do its job of delaying the army by one turn. And
if you take this fort from Jomon, I think it's a death blow, really.
Yes, I think that but honestly, this whole like Atlantis, we're saying like maybe he pushes in, but it's Heat 3. Like maybe he doesn't need to push in on land here.
I don't think he can take a big fight like this army right here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, maybe with Wailing Winds.
That's true.
Maybe with Wailing Winds.
Wailing Winds is devastating.
And I don't know. I mean, Atlantis is a pretty versatile nation. They can do a lot of things, but charging into Heat 3 versus a large scale Jomon army, not high on my list of things for them to do.
Yeah, but honestly, Wailing Winds is going to be.
Oh, if they have
horrible.
Wind of Death, you know what they also have? They also have
Wailing
Stygian
Winds.
Rains.
Yep.
Stygian Rains actually might change it. Yeah, never mind. I think if he gets Stygian Rains up, I think he crushes this army.
He might take. Yeah, he might win that army, win that fight.
Yeah, I think actually that's like that's actually one of the in my when I was kind of talking with Perron about my thoughts on how to play Atlantis. I was like, Atlantis is the evocation rush nation, and there's not many evocation rush nations, but
Yeah.
Stygian Reigns is so good on them. I mean, by the time if you get the power spike you get when you hit Evo 7 for Atlantis is unlike power spikes most other nations get because you got Wailing Winds and you've got Stygian Reigns.
Right, because exactly, it's not only Stygian Reigns, it's you also have Death Air cross paths.
Right. I mean, how is anybody that doesn't have magic weapons going to fight you? Because even in Heat 3 now you're going to be at 20 something mundane protection.
Yep.
And then Wailing Winds, they have to kill you really fast. You know, it's just not going to happen.
To be honest, Wailing Winds is one of those almost overpowered game breaking spells.
Yeah. It could use the same kind of nerf Rigor Mortis got.
Yeah.
Like it should be, this should be 3 death gems. I think that would be appropriate.
Any nation that has Death Air cross paths is like that is a serious threat. Like
yeah.
if unless you have like thugs, basically. Right? Yeah. If you're relying on armies of dudes and you are trying to fight a nation that has air death, good luck.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways, but it's tricky. It's tricky. You can do it too with the main army. You just have to kill things quickly, and that's what makes it hard. Versus Atlantis is especially versus Scales Drummond, you don't have mass magic weapons. There's just no way to kill this army quickly. So I don't know. I think Drummond's basically checkmated. It'll be really interesting to see how they try to play themselves out of it.
And so they have in the south. It looks like they have pulled back from Cetis, and they're trying to go back north, which is a good move.
Right.
We'll see if it's enough. Oh, the keeper took the throne. Watch that battle.
Let's see what Kitty's got. Oh, Mindburn's coming out. Okay. Oh, he actually kind of got the duck shit knocked out of him. He doesn't have... I think he's an enemy Dominion. Oh, no. No. He just never got personal regen off.
Yeah, because of the bats they got there.
Oh, he's kind of lucky, man. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Not a moment too soon.
Now he's fine.
All right, that's one way to do it.
Okay.
And what throne is this?
Let's take a look. The Throne of the Moon.
Growth, precision. Hey, precision is nice for your at parks.
Okay, still not popped.
But he's now sitting on top of the other Agartha
fort, and this is popped.
Yeah. Well, there was nothing left there at all. Right. So Agartha is reduced to whatever he has in his cap.
Right.
And now Bogarus has to start thinking about what he's going to do next.
What do you do if you're Bogarus?
Well, we don't know what Diplo is going on behind the scenes, right? So there might
Right.
be sort of all sorts of pre-existing agreements. Um,
But we know
given
he had an app with Ulm, and I
right,
think he had an app with Marignon, and he has an app with Atlantis. So that leaves
yeah.
Jomon, who I don't think he has an app with, and Raga, which he doesn't have an app with. And obviously it could have changed. But he's in a pretty good position because nobody else has finished their wars, right? So
Yeah.
Marignon's in a 2v1. Ulm is in the other side of that 2v1. Jomon is fighting versus Atlantis. Nobody, like, he's going to be a free agent, so he can either turtle, and he's one of the biggest players with the Scales Nation that's pretty good in the late game. So he can turtle and start doing that stuff, or he could go jump on somebody.
So I feel like as Bogarus, I think a strong Atlantis is still an existential threat, even though they're friends now,
Right.
right? So you have to decide. You have to see like when is the best time that I can go and try to neutralize Atlantis. And unfortunately, Atlantis now is fighting Jomon, who is in no position. Like, it doesn't really make sense for Bogarus to team up with Jomon to fight Atlantis.
Right.
Like,
Because Jomon's not going to help that much, it doesn't look
exactly.
like.
If only Rago is still fighting Atlantis, right?
Yeah.
But he's not.
But a second ago, and I think a lot of this comes with experience and playing, because like a second ago, I was thinking for a moment that in Heat, Jomon's going to be able to defend himself. But then it's really understanding Stygian Reigns, which hasn't even been played yet. And we know that it's probably not going to work out, and Wailing wins.
And Wailing wins, yeah.
But I don't know. So I think there's room for a player to think, okay, Jomon might be able to hold on. And maybe they will. We don't know.
Yeah, but even if Jomon was able to hold off against Atlantis, what Bogarus needs is somebody to be like threatening Atlantis's core and his cap,
Yeah,
which only Raga can do.
that's kind of true.
And so, and here's a problem, because I was going to suggest Bogarus should probably, if he was going to attack anybody, I mean, he could just Vulture Jomon, I guess. That's one thing he could do.
Yeah.
Like, weaken Atlantis by taking Jomon before Atlantis does.
Yeah, that's viable.
Maybe. But his other target would just be like joining his north and south by taking those few Raga provinces, like in former Abyssia Satis.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he leaves Abyssia proper to Marignan, but he could gain some territory in that direction, especially because Jomon is no longer really significant. So like if he cannibalizes a bit of Eastern Jomon, he can freely take provinces from Raga. Geographically, that makes sense for Bogarus, but Raga isn't gonna like fight a big war over there, right? That doesn't really make sense because Raga is so spaghettified.
Yeah.
The
Well, speaking of
problem with
Raga,
that,
let's look at Raga.
yeah, I think the problem with that though is that Raga is Bogarus's best hope of
killing
fighting off
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
So he probably doesn't want to antagonize him. So if it's not going to be Raga vulturing, I think he just maybe goes after a bit of Jomon
I
or
think Raga is
backstabs.
just finishing off Lemuria now, so
Yeah.
doesn't look like they have any plans. And I guess they're going to go try to finish Satis.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he goes after Jomon.
Jomon. Or
Or Ulm.
probably
But
if,
yeah.
yeah, when Ulm fails against Marignan.
Okay, that's
You heard
bold.
it here first.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. Then I guess Bogarus sweeps in.
Okay, I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
I think so. We wanted to take a look at the score graphs.
Oh, good. Thanks for
So
reminding.
let's do that.
Okay, provinces. Oh,
Bogarus.
oh, Bokaroos in position 1. I love it. And like this is Atlantis and Raga. He actually is in position 1 right now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I mean, this makes me happy because not only did he start with that shitty spot, but he got a Titan. And I feel like Titans
Yeah.
don't get enough love. So, yeah. Okay.
I'm testing a whole bunch of nations in different ages, for the upcoming tournament game. And every nation I'm trying so hard to make it work with a Titan build.
Yeah.
It's they're a lot of fun, and they've brought him a lot of success.
Yeah.
So Province is doing very well here for Bugarus, which makes sense because he had a successful war against a large
Yeah.
opponent,
A large opponent. Yeah.
and it
Where
was
was
a
Agartha here?
one-on-one. He didn't have to split the spoils
Oh, I never
with anybody
infiltrated
else
Agartha, so you can't
oh,
infiltrate once they have somebody on
once
their
they're under
cap.
siege. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look at income.
Income.
Bugarus.
Bogarus and Marignan, the two scales nations. Raga, not too far behind, but
Yeah, he didn't trash
noticeably
his skills
behind.
too much because he's got a bit of a rainbow bless.
Right. And then here we've got Atlantis, a little bit beneath. So we've really got four people that are really in the top tier. Who's this person here? Ulm is mid tier, and Jomon is mid tier. So we've really got four at the top, and then we've got Jomon and Ulm. And where's Utgard? Oh
I think
man,
you've got like Utgard and Gath
at the bottom.
at the bottom.
Look at Gath's income. Look at
Well,
this.
he
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 took the
had
Hellbless and hasn't done anything with it.
a Hellbless slow expansion. No, what he did with it is he took Lemuria's cap ring,
Right.
which
Oh
contributes
God.
exactly 0 to your income.
Think about this too, like the Lemuria coalition idea. You do have to think about timing of going after pop kill and like doing it efficiently in all of this.
Unless you do it in like the first year,
Yeah.
this is what it's going to look like.
I mean, even if you win in the first year, I mean, there's not
It's
going to be
still
much
kind of going to look
spoils,
like
but
that, yeah.
yeah, it's worth it if you get that death. Like if you are the one that gets the capital, right? And you get all those death gems, which he kind of went for a little bit, but slowly. That was like right here. He's
Yeah.
If you're this low income this long, you're basically out of the game.
But I mean, to be fair, like, we've criticized Gath a lot, and honestly, the first year was somewhat unjustified just because we didn't know that
Right.
he was going for a Hell Bless, so we were just making fun of his bad bless. So that was a bit unfair. But honestly, like, he has to get a Wasteland.
Yeah.
And, the Lemuria
Well,
Coalition was.
he needs a wasteland by like right here. Kassir don't come out that early, but
I mean, they're only
yeah.
blood 4 or whatever. Like, it's
Well,
like
yeah.
super.
But I mean, you've got to have the resources to like set up a blood economy. Which,
Yes, exactly. So
I'm thinking like turn 35 or turn 30, you start thinking about it.
Right. But like the order, like the timing would have been correct. Now, if it had worked out, now it hasn't worked out.
Right.
But if they had successfully taken out Lemuria, this was correct. This was logical.
If you're Gath right now, like if I were to sub into Gath, you pick a neighbor who's in a disadvantageous war, and you just YOLO into him as hard as you can, with as many raiders and whatever. And if you lose, you say, "Well, it was fun subbing."
Yep.
Because
no, absolutely.
A lot of players would get in a position like this, and like he's not using his armies. Like you have to use. He's already income constraint or upkeep constraint. I guarantee you. He's very close to that.
Not only that, but his giants, like his armies, are still starving.
Yeah, so you have to use them. Jim and we don't get to see the magic stuff. I forget. Army size. Ooh. Oh wait, no, that was Ulm. But I tell you who's on the rise here is Bogarus. Look at that army graph growing. And then Raga flattening out. Okay, this is actually interesting because Raga hasn't really been in wars. He's stopped producing troops. He's switching to mages and other things. I think that's what's happening right here.
Well, also Raga doesn't. I mean, he's gonna just keep recruiting Zeadans and
yeah,
chill out. Like,
I mean, they can make all the Kalem stuff too, but I think he's stopped that. He's like Zedan only, and I think he's probably switching into mages and a blood economy. Is my guess.
Could be.
Okay,
All right.
that was a
Long
fun episode.
but very exciting developments here.
All right, see you guys next time.
Take care.